Here we go. Today is May 2nd, 2021, coming at you live stream. We're good there. Hopefully the upload speed's all right. Coming at you today, talking about the Walking Dead universe, Fear the Walking Dead, of course. We'll talk about the latest episode and the episode before, and really all of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. Really any topics you want to talk about in the Walking Dead universe, that's always good. Hopefully the volume, okay, we're good. We're good with the upload speed, everything there. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll wait till everybody joins and everything. There's always a little delay. So thank you guys for being here, part of it. What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters. I'm One Eye Bry, back to talk about the Walking Dead universe live stream. It's been a little crazy week for me, a little stuff going on. Watch a couple different movies. My guy Negan 1 making some different stuff for everything. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being here and a part of it. This Sunday, every Sunday, next Sunday. It's pretty cool to have a part of the community. And I know The Walking Dead is not what it used to be. Seasons 4, 5, and 6 were the highest viewed seasons, and I think will ever be part of it. And that's okay. I mean, we're coming up on season 11 of The Walking Dead. And I think if you ask yourself, or a lot of people, or your friends, or a lot of people in the Walking Dead community, we'll take 11 seasons, right? We probably shouldn't even have that many for a niche market. The zombie apocalypse story like that usually doesn't get that many seasons of it. But ultimately, we're back to talk about a bunch of different things. I'll talk about a couple things off topic. Rocking the Cowboys hat because it was the draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The NFL draft, I should say, sorry. But the NFL draft was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you're an NFL fan, hopefully your team's got some players that you're excited about. The draft is the most overrated thing there is in sports. All they do is they draft a player, a potential player for their team, for your team. All 32 teams get plenty of picks. And are they going to work out? Are they not? I don't know. It's one of those things where you're like, yes, they got this guy. Can you believe it? Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're like, good luck with that, bro. Hopefully Jacksonville gets their act together. They can protect them. Offensive line, everything there too. So, but thank you guys for joining me. Watched a couple different movies recently. Some people are still stuck at home. Some people are getting back to normal, back to life. Got the vaccine, didn't get the vaccine, back to work, not back to work yet. Hopefully you're doing okay. We're still in the pandemic, but it kind of feels like we're getting better and bigger stuff. Like we're moving towards the right direction. I just feel like we're getting there with enough people vaccinated. I think it's like 50% of all adults or whatever. And then so many percentage have both of the vaccines. So we should be good, right? So we'll get there for it. But overall, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and World Beyond are all still filming. And that's cool news. I believe they were still filming around this building with a bus and some stuff. Hope you saw my latest video about season 11. Talked about some recent stuff on there. Some other news that I didn't say about there is that they casted some soap opera guy, most likely some Commonwealth soldier, somebody connected with the Commonwealth. Don't know who it is because I don't watch soap operas, but I would assume he's part of the Commonwealth. We'll see how it goes down. So I'm excited to see what the Commonwealth is in store for us. And today is May 2nd. It's going to be May and then June and July and then August. Once we get the trailer for The Walking Dead season 11, which I'm hoping maybe end of this month. If we're lucky, most likely June or July. They usually will probably do it 2 to 3 months out because typically they would do it in July for October. So for July, that would be, August, September, October. So roughly that's about the same time, 3 months out from Comic-Con in July. But I don't know about Comic-Con. Did they move it to the fall? Are we going to do a virtual? I'm not sure exactly what it is. If you know, please let me know in the comments. Super chats, live chats, everything's welcome. Ask your questions away. I'll try to answer them as best I can. I'll be talking about season 6, episode 11 of Fear the Walking Dead in the last half hour. So please no spoilers until then. We'll talk about that in the last half hour for it. So I'll be excited to talk about Fear the Walking Dead, all the episodes up to season 6, episode 10. But last week's episode, it's kind of tough to keep track of what was last week's episode? What was this? What was that? So I believe last week's episode was the Daniel episode. Was he faking? Was he not? And I've got messages and comments and just different topics of discussion. A lot of people think that Daniel was faking. that he came up with a plan to catch Strand or keep an eye on Strand. I personally don't think so. I think they're going with he was already faking in Lawton and the trauma of all the stuff that's been going through it, trying to build the future and community, remembering his daughter, remembering Los Angeles. And that's what brought on the psychosis, I guess. I don't know, lack of a better word, that the psychosis of things, that it just makes sense that he could have those feelings. And he talked about it, that he thought about the thing in season 2 when he burned down the whole plantation in Mexico. And I think he was legitimately not sure what was going on, and he wouldn't fake those things, and June showed that. So I don't think he was faking, but they made a step in the right direction with the end is the beginning people. Dakota wants to help. Do we have a spy? Do we have a mole? Do we have multiple people doing this, doing that? Counter agents. You know, they do love the spy angle, the traitor angle. Do you think Dakota was a traitor? Was she working with the end is the beginning people? Is that how they got in? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see if those questions are answered later on this season. But overall, season 6 is still going in the right direction. Some things are kind of far-fetched, and overall, it was a good episode. And, you know, I like Daniel, so it was good. And overall, I think season 6 is probably one of the best. It's one of the highest-rated seasons so far in the Walking Dead universe. I think if that matters to you, right? Do we even care about that stuff? Do you care about ratings? Because a lot of times when critics and film and TV show critics, they talk about this movie was this and this movie was this and that this movie sucked and this movie was great. It's like, well, I'm going to watch a movie because I want to watch it, like Mortal Kombat. It's a decent remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to watch it nonetheless because I grew up with it, right? So, and I watched a recent movie with Bob Odenkirk. It's called Nobody. And I think it was in the theater, or I might have went to digital, but now you can buy it, rent it, things online. But my wife and I watched it. And I love Bob Odenkirk. He's more commonly known as Saul on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And he's just a great actor. And to me, I don't want to give too much away of the movie. I want you to go watch it because it is a movie worth watching. But it reminds me a lot of John Wick. So it's not as serious as that. It's kind of like funny, campy, little crazy, a little over the top. But it's a movie. It's an enjoyable movie. And I think a lot of people, we need movies that are not all serious and like that would happen in real life, right? So I think that we'll have to see. We'll have to see what if you enjoy that movie, but it's pretty a fun thing to watch. It's called Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk, and a couple other people are in it. I don't want to give it away because it's kind of cool to see these characters and these actors. So definitely check it out too. So if you like John Wick and you can rent Nobody, or you want to wait for it on the service, definitely check it out if it gets on HBO too. So a movie that's coming out in 2 weeks. I think it's in 2 weeks, 14th or something. It's I forget what it's called actually, but it's starring Angelina Jolie and has to do with firefighting. And Shane, John Bernthal, is in that movie. So if you're a Shane fan, a John Bernthal fan, definitely want to check it out. But Angelina Jolie has to do with firefighting and something in there. I think it's in California. But it's coming. If anybody remembers the name of the movie, please post in the comments. But I'm blanking on the movie offhand. But it comes out very, very soon. We got Cinco de Mayo coming up. Gonna make some tacos and have some good time with that and try to relax around the house. So it's fun stuff. Let me see what Raquel says. I don't think he was, and agree that he did find a good place and always goes into him wanting to protect what he's found as a safe place in his mind. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens with Daniel Salazar. I love the idea of him having more of a role in season 6, but we have so many characters in Fear the Walking Dead that it's like, how can Morgan and Daniel and Dwight and Althea and Luciana and Strand and Alicia and Sherry, and Charlie, Dakota, it's like June. I can't even name them all. There's like so many characters left on the Walking Dead in the Walking Dead universe, but let alone Fear the Walking Dead. So, but I'll just give you a little teaser now. We're going to meet the end is the beginning people this episode. And I'll talk about it way more in depth in the last half hour of the hour of the live stream. But yeah, Sarah says, Those Who Wish Me Dead. Thank you. I was blanking on the name, but that's the movie it's going to be on HBO Max coming up May 14th or 15th. It's coming up very, very soon. And I'm going to check it out because I have HBO Max and I've watched Mortal Kombat and The Little Things and just Judas and the Black Messiah and just all these different movies that are coming on there. Why not check it out? Godzilla. I didn't watch Tom and Jerry though. I didn't watch that. Probably not going to watch Space Jam just because I just don't think it's going to be good. But you never know. I might check it out if I got, not that much going on. So I'm definitely going to watch that movie. Like I said, John Bernthal's in it, and it's a big support to him. I was always a big fan, but after I met him on the Walker Stalker cruise, and just love him even more. It's pretty cool when you get a chance to meet those guys, and hopefully we'll be doing more conventions down the road, whether it be Walker Stalker or whatever it is, Fan Fest and stuff going around. But hopefully you'll get to meet some of the cast of The Walking Dead in different shows and different movies, because it is pretty cool if you get a chance to meet them, and hopefully it's a good experience when you meet a character there. And I really met everybody that I've met from The Walking Dead has been a great thing. It's been a great experience for me, and I'll never forget the time I went with my dad to Walker Stalker Orlando, and we got the cast photo, and Abraham Michael Cutlets looked back at my dad and he said, like, hey, how are you? And my dad said, how you doing? With kind of a Jersey accent a little bit. And he's like, where are you from? He's like, New Jersey. He's like, oh, Jersey. We used to vacation there from time to time. And it was a cool interaction with one of the many cast members that we got in the video or in the picture. But I'll just never forget that. It's just a memory that was just pretty cool stuff on there too. And that's what I love talking about the Walking Dead community, just the universe of it. I saw somebody ask, I don't know if she's in here now for the live stream, but I saw somebody ask one of the comments before I went on the live stream. She asked about the World Beyond. Are we going to get the World Beyond after Fear the Walking Dead? So I think it's going to be Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. It'll end in June. And then hopefully we'll get the trailer for Season 11 in June or July. And then The Walking Dead Season 11 comes back in August. And it's going to go for 8 episodes, most likely. And then, so that'll be August, September, October. And then when that ends, I think we get The World Beyond for 10 episodes, 10 weeks, October, November, and December. So that's what I think is the idea of it. I don't know how we're going to get Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. I think that gets pushed back to next year. But if we have Fear the Walking Dead, and World Beyond, we still got a bunch of Walking Dead universe stuff coming in the next couple months. So it's just still awesome. So they basically moved it from last year to this year. It's the year of The Walking Dead. No news about the Rick movies besides they're still planning on it. And, I looked up things because I assume they're going to film in Georgia. So I did a quick Google search about different things filming in the state of Georgia right now or recently as of a couple weeks ago. So in the state of Georgia, there's a lot of movies, a lot of shows, a lot of production going on. And they're filming The Walking Dead. They're filming Fear the Walking Dead, The World Beyond. So 3 things of The Walking Dead are filming right now. So why can't they start filming the first Rick movie? Logistically, COVID pandemic-wise, you should be able to because other shows, other movies are filming right now. So I don't think it has to do with the pandemic anymore. I think it has to do with, I guess the pandemic in a way of getting the vaccinations, getting things set up. Do they really have to finish the script by now? Do they really have to get a producer, a director in this? Because Andrew Lincoln's one of the producers. But I don't think he's the producer. I think he's one of them. I think we're going to still find out things. This is that they're filming in Georgia. It's not been, confirmed that they are, but I would assume they are because if you film in the state of Georgia, there's a lot of tax breaks. It saves them a bunch of money. I don't know how much it is based on the budget and how much it is, but it's a certain percentage of your budget for it. That's why so many things film in the state of Georgia. So I think and hope they should start bringing people over to film the first movie this month, maybe next month. I don't know. I'm just saying I hope so. And there's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of talk, a lot of rumors, a lot of crap going around about The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Rick, this, that, confirmed, unconfirmed, proof, solved, leaked. There's just going to be a bunch of stuff. And until we see him at the Atlanta airport, because I know people are going to get pictures with him, they have, or they could take pictures of him. A lot of the cast gets pictures there too. So I would assume that. I don't know if he's going to fly private and they sneak him in or something. I don't know. But if he's around town, if he's in Sonoy, if he's in Noonan, if he's in those places around there, I'm not sure. But if they film in the studio, they can kind of hide that much better than if they don't. Because I have a picture that I shared in the Walking Dead Season 11 video. And if you haven't seen that, guys, definitely check it out. There's 3 cast members that took pictures with fans in Sonoy. The account is the Water Tower Tours. I think they started the Water Tower Tour since Atlanta movie tours went closed. So there's like the Water Tower Tours and the Georgia Tour Company are the only tours that I know of that in Sonoy. So that's really the gamut with if you want to take a tour, it's one of those 2 companies. And there's a picture with Princess, Kelly, and Lydia with like 3 fans. So we know they're filming. We know that Princess is going to be a big part. She'll probably survive the rest of the series. Lydia, I would assume, survives as well. Kelly looks to survive too. No picture of Connie. We're still waiting on that. I know a lot of people are wondering, where's Connie? Where's Connie? What's up with Connie? Where has Connie been? Why hasn't she been seen? So hopefully we'll get a picture of that or information there. And should be pretty awesome once we get there too. So Masked Ninja asks, how do the soldiers see out of the CRM helmets? That's a good question. I don't know. And that helmet looks to be like a different helmet. I think the helmet that's in the World Beyond, the helmets that are on the Walking Dead World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead are different. So I don't know if they're like blast shields, like Star Wars style, or like they're made just to protect them, not really see. And they come up when you see, if you want to see, there it's to protect, and hopefully the visibility is still, I don't know. It's a fictional thing. I don't think it's made for, purpose. I think it's just made for looks. So the functionality of it, I don't think is really thought of there too. So my guy Mark says, Q&A, Bri, how much mentally and physically do you think Rick has changed since his departure? So that's a good question, right? So I think when we see him, it's going to be right when he was taken away. And there's going to have to be time jumps, significant time jumps on there. But I think it's got to weigh on him, right? Like he has to worry about his family. Michonne, Judith, he doesn't know about RJ, Daryl, Carol, everybody involved that he knows about. It's got to weigh on him. So unless he has amnesia or whatever they're going to do with that, it's got to be weighing on him physically and mentally. And hopefully he's trying to work on a plan to get away. But who got his boots? Why did Michonne find his boots? And how did they get to Virgil? Like, I just really hope it's explained in a way. But Rick's got to be feeling it. And I don't know how bad that injury is going to be with the rebar coming through his side and his back. Did it get his kidney? Did it get his intestines? Is he going? I mean, I'm sure he's going to be okay. He may be walking around with a cane, just like old man Rick. So we'll have to see too. So let me see. There's a question here. Hi, I'm Negan. Hi, you are Bri, right? I'm Negan. Hello, Negan. Nice to meet you. TWD Clips says, have you seen Invincible? I've seen parts of it. I've seen parts of the first episode, and then I've seen the goriness of Invincible with Omni-Man and just some craziness. It's not your normal animation. It's definitely bloody and adult-oriented animation. So I know it got picked up for the 2nd and 3rd seasons on Amazon, so it's probably doing pretty well. It's Invincible is a comic that's written by Robert Kirkman. So, and I know there's a lot of different voices with J.K. Simmons and Stephen Yeun as Invincible too. So it's pretty cool stuff on there. So Milky says, my mate has a biker helmet and you can't see his face. Hopefully he can see out of it is the big question too. So Professor Balsard Q&A, do you think the Commonwealth will help Ezekiel? Also, how are you doing? Thank you, Professor Balsard. I'm doing okay. It's been a little crazy week, but we're making through. I got some stuff to do outside and some stuff here or there, and Cinco de Mayo's coming up, and a lot of stuff's craziness for that. But ultimately, we're doing all right. Hopefully, you're doing well too, Professor. But do you think the Commonwealth will help Ezekiel? I do. I personally think he will be okay. I hope that it's not cancer. It's just a growth or a tumor, and they'll go in, they'll remove it, and he survives and he's okay, and at least makes it to the end of season 11, or something happens with Ezekiel. You can't bring him all this way to get to the Commonwealth, to outlive his comic death in the Pike lineup, for him just to not have a significant story. And I don't know if he ends up with Princess, but I could see that happening because in the comics, Princess and Mercer get it on, but I think Princess and Ezekiel could get it on because we're going to have some twists and turns and changes and remixes. It just happens all the time too. So Militant says, hey, Bri, Q&A, who do you think Keith Carradine will play in Fear Season 6? I don't know. I really don't know what's happening with Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 with that. I don't really know who Keith Carradine is. Are we talking about Keith Jardine? I know Keith Jardine from the UFC. He's kind of an actor now. He's in a couple different things. Is the kind of guy gets beat up. But I don't know. I know that we definitely see some new characters in this new episode, Fear the Walking Dead 611, that I'll talk about in 9 minutes. But it's definitely something that we're going to be getting more cast, more stuff, more story on there as well. I just want to know how Season 6 rolls into Season 7. And is Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 going to be the final season? Because if it is, it's got a chance to connect with Rick and the Rick movies. If we're getting a Season 8, I don't know. So, he was, which Adabee says he was in Kill Bill. Which, I'm going to have to look up Keith Carradine then. Or is it, are you meaning, is he Bill? Are you talking about the Carradine guy, Bill? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he's playing, nonetheless, who the guy is. I don't know. I don't know. So I'd have to look into that too and hopefully find out a little more information about that actor and what his role is going to be. TWD Clip says, Q&A, do you think Maggie could die in the Walking Dead final season? I don't think so. I mean, you don't bring her back just to get killed off. I think she's going to have some big roles in story with Negan, with the Reapers, maybe the Commonwealth. I don't know. I think that Maggie survives. You don't bring her back just to do. I want to know. The bigger question is, I want to know if she rebuilds Hilltop. Are we just going to have that go by? I mean, is Hilltop just going to go by the wayside? I hope not. I hope that he's going to be a part, or she's going to be a part of the story. Maybe she gets a spinoff. Who knows, right? You never know. Like, The Walking Dead Season 11 is the final season of the main show, but it's not the end of The Walking Dead by any means. You have the Daryl and Carol spinoff, Tales of the Walking Dead, the villain show that it's most likely should be about Negan, a comedy one that I don't know what it's going to be about. And if they do well and people want to find out more, why not have a show about that? Why not have, if they don't really go the route of having Maggie rebuild Hilltop in season 11, why don't they have that as a spinoff of them working in there, doing that? If they end season 11 with a time jump, there's really not that many walkers around anymore. The same way the comic ends, older Judith telling the story to her kid. She's with Herschel or some, whatever, however it ends up with basically the Carl story in the comic and the Commonwealth and Judge Michonne, which is probably going to be Judge Yumiko is my guess. But if they don't go that route, you still have more story to tell because basically the comic ends with, it's been so long that we've seen a walker. They really aren't a problem anymore. They're not really supposed to kill the walkers, and it's a kind of a crime to do that. It's so weird how they end it. But if they leave it open, there's still more story to it. And just because The Walking Dead season 11 is the final season, it's going to end the story of the main show. And that doesn't mean The Walking Dead universe is going to end. They want to have The Walking Dead universe go on and on and on and on. Basically like Star Trek. Kind of like Marvel. Kind of like Star Wars. Keep that universe open and open-ended so you can have more and more story, come back to it, time jumps, spin-offs, movies, shows, time jumps, spin-offs, movies, shows, time jumps, spin-offs, movies, shows, just keep it rolling. Cash cow moving. But I don't know if they're going to do that because AMC has got, it's a business, it's a company. They own studios, they own this, they own that. And I don't know if it's going to happen with the movies, or we're going to have more than one. We're going to have all the spinoffs. We're going to have webisodes. We're going to have that. Because AMC and everything has invested a lot of time, money, energy into it, and they want to get that money back. So I'll have to see. But, a lot of people are still thinking that the end of the show is coming. The world is ending. But it's not. It's still going to be a long way away. It's not going to end potentially till like next summer, which is still like a year away. Over a year away. Because I would assume The Walking Dead is going to be August, February, and then is it going to be August again, or is it going to be October? I could see them stretching out the final 8 episodes of The Walking Dead season 11 going to October. So it goes to the end of the year. It's just when in doubt, they're going to stretch it out. It's just kind of how it goes too. So, but overall, I haven't really seen much or heard much about Fear the Walking Dead filming. I know they are filming. Haven't really seen or heard much about World Beyond filming. But recently, Walking Dead was filming in an area with some different location, some old rusty bus, some different building, some walls that they either climbed or been around. So I don't know if it's a branch or part of the Commonwealth, if it's them going out and exploring, if it has something to do with the Reapers. I want to know some stories about season 11, and which is good storytelling. You want to find out what's going on with Maggie, Negan, the army base, the Commonwealth, our group of 4, Princess, Yumiko, Ezekiel, and, Magna, Yumiko. So it's going to make sense that we're going to see those characters. Connie, Virgil, does it connect? Does Jadis come back? Do we have a connection with Rick? Do we have a connection with the Civic Republic? Is that going to be ultimate? Because you have to have those breadcrumbs, those, plant the seed for early on. So we'll have to see, right? So Terry B says, it's better to wrap everything up in a satisfying way than drag it out forever with recycled plots and themes. I agree, but the business side of it says, let's stretch this out for as long as possible. The other side is storytelling versus budget versus production. Sometimes, a lot of times, they're not on the same page, so we'll have to see. Jonathan Water, my guy, says, Q&A, do you think Negan will help Rick in the movies? If he makes it there. I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see Negan come and save the day, and Rick's like, huh? Negan? That would be pretty cool. Will it happen? I don't know. Because a lot of stuff that I think would be pretty cool, or the fans think would be pretty cool, we have our theories and everything there. I don't know. Because there's some things like we would like to see different stuff that could have happened with, Whitney or Walker Eric or different stuff over the time, and it never happened. And that's okay, but sometimes we would want to see stuff, and we want to see a satisfying ending with Rick, with our story, with people being reunited. And I know a lot of people want to see Rick come back to season 11. And I would love to see that too. But with Michonne going away, how can Rick come back and Michonne go away? So Michonne's that way, Rick went that way. How can it? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for one to come back unless they both come back. That'd be pretty cool too. But then we see the story of how they got there. So then we see the ending, but how they got there, it's reverse storytelling. We saw the ending to meet the ending. So I don't know. I just have to see how it goes down for it. I just hope it, after all this time, right, it better be rewarding, exciting, fulfilling, satisfying with the stories. Let's get to the first movie first, see what their plan is, and we'll go from there. But they've had more than enough time to write the script, probably for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour long movie, to build the framework of it. And they should have a plan for the first, second, and third movies, if that's still a go, if they're still doing that stuff, to connect with the shows, the movies, the spinoffs, if that's what they're going to do. I mean, there's no excuse for this stuff not to be awesome. Because you've had more than enough time to write. You can clearly film stuff because they have had more than enough episodes to get stuff done right. you should have the production, the cast, the crew, everybody involved, and hopefully they start filming, very soon. So, but all right, guys, we're approaching the last half hour of my hour. Spoiler warning for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 11. I'm going to talk about it because there is a decent amount to talk about. And 3, 2, 1, spoiler warning. No. But still no Talking Dead. I don't know if you guys are really upset about Talking Dead, but it's not going to be back to the final episode of this season. There's been some talk that we might not get an episode on Memorial Day weekend of Fear the Walking Dead. So they may stretch it out. So we may get the following thing. I don't know if they're going to be a break or something. I don't know what they're doing with that, because the early word was that they were finishing filming in February of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 finale. So I don't know if that's going to play a factor in stretching it out another week or so. It's just been a rumor going around, so I thought I'd mention that too. But right now, Season 6, Episode 11 is tonight. If you haven't seen it already, let's talk about it too. So, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 11. The opening thing is with Wes. So it's more of a Wes story than anything. It's a Western. No, the West story of it. So we see the walker being chomped up in the dirt, kind of in the trailer. We saw that before. So we get to see the end is the beginning people. And where they're at is called the Holding. So I don't know if they call themselves the Holding or what. So, but either way, let's call them the Holding, because the end is the beginning people is a mouthful. The end is the beginning people. It's like blah, 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 blah. So we get to meet them. We see that they're grounding up walkers in the soil. They're using the soil and the bones to feed the chickens, to nourish the crops, to have the crops. And they're really self-sufficient. They have crops and farming inside underground. So they're underground. They don't have to ever leave to go to the surface. And I think their plan is to blow up with the submarine nukes and the bombs and everything there, to blow up everything on the surface and just live underground. I don't know if they're ever going to come up or not, but so they're taking the dirt, they're pouring it on there, they're talking about things, they're going this. You see someone picks up some radishes or something. A girl goes over to it. You see farm to table, basically. You see this, they're chopping it up. They have cheese, they have carrots, they have cherry tomatoes. They have everything you would have for a vegetable. I guess you have cheese, so it's not, but a vegetables. And I guess they have chickens and goats and whatever too. So they have stuff for food. They make the food in it. They put it on a plate. A girl grabs it and she looks at the walker that's tied to a tree. It kind of looks like Madison, but there's no mention of Madison, so it's not a Madison walker. So I know the Madison fans are like, whoo, right? So she looks at it. Riley comes over, which is a new character played by Nicholas Stahl. He was John Connor in Terminator 3. He says, what do you see? Trying to look at it. I don't know what they're trying to look at the walker to see. Is it the end is the beginning, so the end of time? I don't know what they're trying to do with it, because it's hard to see. Like, all I see is a walker. So either way, she says, hurry up. He tells her to get the food ready because the people they found outside, we have some new arrivals. They're going to be hungry. The elevator goes down. It opens up. You see Alicia, Althea, Luciana, and Wes. Somehow, they were picked up by the end is the beginning people, the Holding, and they are saved by them. They call walkers, the Riley calls them posters, yet another name besides zombies. Wes calls them eaters, biters, walkers, deadheads, whatever. There's a bunch of different names, so they had the posters. We don't know why they call them posters. It's not explained, but I see Jeannie says circle of life. Yeah, I mean, death, new life, beginning, someone dies. It is the circle of life. Life, death. It is a thing for sure. I know all about that, and I believe in that too. But seeing a walker doesn't really remind me of the circle of life, because that's an abnormal circle of life. So a person dies, they come back to life. That's not really what we have on there too. So Terry B says, I was thinking short for composters. Yeah, that's cool. I like that, compost. There you go. That makes sense. But again, it's not explained. I think it's just kind of what it is, but I like that. I like that idea. I'll buy into that. I'll buy that for $1. No. So it's Alicia and her group. They're there and they're taken there. Then they're interviewed by Riley. And it's almost like the interview is Riley interviewing like one by one, kind of like Deanna did. It's a nice callback to that, actually. I'm going to have my Easter egg video Tuesday or Wednesday. And I just made my similarities video of Terminus and The End is the Beginning people. And it's way more, it's definitely way more similar than you think. I mean, some people won't agree with it, and that's okay. But I think it is, and I have a lot of similarities for that. I'll post that video tomorrow. I've already posted my review of it, so I won't post another review tonight. My review I posted yesterday, so I have that, and I'll have the, like I said, my similarities video of Terminus and the holding the end is the beginning people tonight, or it's Monday. I'll post that on Monday. So Riley is interviewing them one by one. They record. Alicia is recorded. He probably recorded everybody. They ask questions about that. They're trying to find out what it is. But Riley doesn't seem concerned about our group, right? Like, he's putting a lot of faith in these people that they're not traitors. They don't have any weapons with them. Outsiders aren't allowed to carry any weapons. But our group is finding out stuff about them. They see Riley talks about the walkers being broken down and the soil and the chickens and this. So they're basically using that for a while. And since the dawn of time, this has been fertilizer in our crops and just the way it's been too. So I love the idea that we get to see that they're being self-sustaining, and it's a pretty cool community, but it's short-lived, right? When our group gets around places, they really rip it down and they ruin it for everybody. So ultimately, Riley and them are talking, and they're looking at the walkers, and they're talking about it. What do you see? What do you see? And, Wes looks at a painting on the wall, and Riley's like, looks at it, or Wes asks, who painted that? And Riley asks, why? Why? And he's like, well, I had a brother that paints. He's like, you had a brother? He's like, what was your brother's name? And it was Derek. And then you see it in succession that he asked the same question to Alicia, Luciana, and Althea. And you see Nick, Paulo, and I don't know if I don't think Althea says her brother's name. I think she just says, was my best friend. So they all lost siblings, but not yet, because they're talking and they're like, well, we gotta meet this Terry guy. We gotta meet this guy or Teddy guy. So Teddy is the leader of the End is the Beginning people. And we gotta get him to trust us. And they're talking to do that. And then they see everybody's coming here. Teddy's back. We got to go do this. So it's like magically happens just like that. So I love the idea that we're going to meet Teddy, but then we don't. The elevator comes down and people get off the elevator. Wes sees the person off the elevator. He gets upset or emotional, walks over there, and it's his brother Derek. So his brother's alive. Then we find out that he went to go to the store to get condensed milk. The stuff broke. He was trapped. The walkers were about to get him, but the End is the Beginning people saved him, and he was taken by them. He went back to go find Wes, but Wes took his motorcycle and left, and we know that Ginny blew up that motorcycle, so that's all tore up. So he didn't really keep looking for him. I guess he tried that one time, and then he was like, all right, that's it. So then we kind of find out that Derek is cuckoo. He's buying into the Kool-Aid with the End is the Beginning people. They're all wearing blue, by the way. When you watch it, you'll see it's very cult-like. Teddy's the only one that's not. He's wearing white, even though he's wearing blue socks when you meet him at the very end of the episode. But it's Wes and Derek, and they're talking, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Wes and Derek, Derek has to go do watch duty or something, and so they split up. Wes talks with Althea, Luciana, and they decide kind of what to do. And they have to figure out, can we trust Derek? Can they use Derek to get in favor with him, get information? And it turns into basically Wes trusts his brother, but should we trust him? Should we not? Turns out that he's not trustworthy. He's going to set our group up to get captured, and he's not really going to help Wes. He's not there to help Wes. He's there to he's a big part of the End is the Beginning people. Derek, Wes's brother, has done all these paintings. I don't know if he painted it or not, who actually painted on the walls, but the paintings are pretty cool. There's a painting with like trees and walkers in the woods. Looks pretty awesome. And then you see a painting on there with the high-rise building downtown that Althea and Dwight went to, Tanktown, the oil field, a bridge that I don't know if we've seen it yet, one of Jenny's communities, the motel, another one is a different one. I don't know if it's the Gulch or what it is, but another place like that. And then we see wind turbines. So I don't know if the wind turbines will be something we'll see down the road, or was another thing that's where they generated power, or they took it over, or whatever. So I'm not sure. So, but you see, Wes tries to recruit Derek to leave and escape and do all that. He's like, well, if they catch me, they'll kill me. They'll kill all of you. And then Wes is like, let's not get caught. So I really like the Wes character development here. There was more Wes and more Luciana in it, which was good because we have these characters and we're like, all right, we need some more story for these characters. Just don't keep them around just to keep them around. Give them some story or get rid of them. You know, I don't know why you do that. But ultimately, we see Wes and Althea go into Derek's room. And I think it's a little out of order the way I'm saying it. But either way, they go into Derek's room or his bunk or his area. And they're looking for stuff, looking for whatever. Wes finds a can of condensed milk. He opens the top and there's stuff in it. Also, there's a big, giant red toolbox. And there's red all over this place. Red food, tomatoes, peppers, all over the place. So we're like, somebody's going to die, right? And it's a lot around Wes. Even though Wes survives, Derek ends up getting killed and Wes actually kills him. So the red was the loss of Derek and Wes was involved with that too. So the red theory still has a candle with it too. But they open up the can, they pour the stuff out, and it's the map of the motel, a log of them checking things over at Jenny's Tanktown and stuff there, but also map overlays for the Civic Republic military. There's the A's and the B's and the different things, and they also have a yellow card on there. And if you know the yellow card, you know from the world beyond that is a filter for basically a way to look at a map and see special things on the map without the naked eye. You need the yellow filter to see that. We know that from the world beyond. So hopefully Althea is going to see that, use that down the road. And I don't know, like it's one of those things where we know more about this stuff. So hopefully they answer stuff in the next upcoming episodes. But it just makes sense that they set things up for us and hopefully it's answered and it's rewarding for that. So Derek is taking our group up the elevator. Derek hits the button. Alicia looks at Derek and is like, what's with the bag? And I don't know why that tips her off because it really shouldn't. He's just bringing his stuff. That's it. You got to bring your stuff if you're leaving, right? Don't you want to keep any of those things? But she's like, nah, I don't know about that. So then she elbows him in the face, grabs his gun, and they get out. The elevator doors open. Everybody gets off, but Alicia stands there. Wes stays by his brother. They're talking. Then Riley and his group show up, and they capture them. So Derek, basically by this time sold the group out. They get caught. They take them into the embalming room or one of the embalming rooms, and they're about to embalm or start embalming them, and they actually pick Wes. Wes fights back, does this. Derek comes in, says, let me talk to him first. They go back to the walker on the tree that's chained up to the tree. They talk. Meanwhile, Alicia, Luciana, and Althea are just being held in the embalming room. They're not doing anything to them for some reason. Like, what are you doing? You should have started embalming them. What difference does it make if Wes is going to join them or not? Wouldn't you still embalm them? But either way, they talk about it. Wes understands that Derek is not going to change. He's not going to come to their side. So Wes says, he says something like, it's sad to see it like this. Something like that or whatever. So he goes to reach for Derek's gun. Derek kind of still grabs it, keeps a hold at it. They struggle for it. Derek kind of has a funny face and he's like, yeah, like it's kind of funny. Wes pushes him towards the walker. The walker bites him in his trap, his neck. He gets bit, goes down. Wes grabs the gun, puts him down. And I would have been like, let him turn. Let his brother turn, but he wants to put his brother out of his misery because it is his brother after all, right? So, boom, shoots him. That's it. It's over. And Wes takes his brother out. And Riley looks up. He's like, what was that? He's like, all right, take him out. So then they're gonna embalm Alicia. And then Wes comes in, grabs Riley, uses him as a human shield. They let everybody go. They go into a door. They put the axe into the door. They can't lock the door, but they put the axe under the door to block it a little bit. They turn around. They see all the walkers, chained up with their arms above their head, the embalmed walkers. I don't know why they're embalming the walkers. Like, what's the point of it? But we didn't find that out. So either way, they're doing that. They're going through that. They look at them and they see that their mouths are sewn shut. So they can't bite them. As they're going through the different walkers, Althea sees a Civic Republic military pilot soldier with the helmet down. She walks over to it because she wants to know if it's Isabel. She picks up she opens the lid helmet, the face of the helmet, and it's not Isabel. So she's like, the walker tries to bite Althea, so she rips out the sutures, and she tries to bite Althea. So she moves out of the way. She reaches in there, grabs the matches. Meanwhile, the group the Riley and his group are trying to get through the door. They can't get the door out because of the axe. It's kind of far-fetched, but it's like, trying to get through there. So either way, Althea stabs the walker in the neck. The embalming fluid falls out. She knows that they're all embalmed. They're all this. They come up with a decision to go out the side door. Althea gives the matches to Alicia. Alicia, starts cutting into the walkers to get embalming fluid all over the place, and she's going to light up the walkers because embalming fluid is flammable. So Althea, Wes, and Luciana leave, but Alicia burns up the walkers. It's real dramatic, pretty badass. Drops the match, kind of like Madison. They make reference to certain things there too. It's definitely a callback to that, but also Carol in season 6. Again, I'll talk about that in my Easter egg video coming out this week. Drops the match, boom, transition, fire. Then we see Luciana, Althea, and Wes back with Morgan. So they go back to Morgan's community. They made it out safe. Everybody's safe except for Alicia. She's still back at the holding. That's what they call this location underground, the holding. So it's the end of the beginning. Location is called the holding. So they talk about Morgan. They talk about the place, what they're doing, what they found, and they kind of come up with a plan to do this. Isaac's wife is there. Isaac's wife is there. Dwight's there. Morgan's there. And then Dakota comes out of nowhere. She's got this dirt on her nose, and it's like, just clean that off. It looks terrible. I just couldn't stop looking at it. But she's like, I want to help. But again, they're keeping her around to help. I'm sure she'll be involved next episode because that's what she's going to do. So I don't know if she's a spy or what she's doing or what she's going to do there too. But either way, she's involved with it. They kind of come up with a plan, what to do, where to go. And Althea talks with Dwight when everybody leaves. And she kind of shows him the map overlays. And Dwight says, oh, does this have to do with Beer Lady? He knows Beer Lady. He doesn't know Isabel. He doesn't know any details. It's only that Althea keeps finding the map overlays and the connections with the CRM. She's the only one. So she's got to connect with Isabel. She says that she's going to go find Isabel and warn her because the end is the beginning people had plans to probably blow things up, and so everybody would be in danger. So she's worried about Isabel, and that's a nice connection with the Civic Republic military. Maybe she's the one that connects and finds Rick, and there's a lot of things that could and probably will happen there too. So I think Al will be connected with that. So I don't know if I posted that video. That reminds me, I got to check, but I have a video about Althea, and she could be the one involved with that. So I think so. I think they set this up. So we'll see what happens. I can't remember if I posted that or not. It's just been a crazy week. But if I haven't, I'll post that video there too, and it highlights some things with Althea and the Civic Republic. So she's going to go find Isabel. Dwight, says, if you don't, check in every couple of days, I'm going to come looking for you. So maybe she doesn't come checking in, and he's going to go help her and find her. And which is a nice group. I do like Althea and Dwight working together. I don't know where Sherry's involved. We don't see her or Strand or anybody there. But then you see Dwight, and then there's a transition too. So, Lindsay says, I think you did right. So I hope so. I hope I did. So I talked about Althea finding Rick. So I think that's going to be the big, the question for it too. So Wilson says, what was the embalming for? I don't know. I don't know why they were embalming the walkers. There's some question marks in here. Like the writing is kind of what these people were doing, back to Fear the Walking Dead writing. So, but I think it's the connecting point that the Teddy guy who was making, who's the leader of this group, I think he's the same guy that John Dory's dad arrested, and that's what that story's about in earlier in season 6. So it's a shame that John Dory's not around, and the rabbi's the only one that heard that story. So I don't know if it's going to be 2 and 2 together, but I think that they're highlighting this guy Teddy is the person that he was, the 2-bit mortician. So I don't know what the point of them embalming walkers is. It's not explained. So either way, Alicia, after the transition, is back at the holding. I don't know why she couldn't just drop the match and go out the same door and run out with Althea, Luciana, and Wes. Why couldn't she get away? Not explained. How did our group just get saved by the end as the beginning people? Not explained. Not explaining stuff is kind of annoying to the fan base. So don't start doing this, Fear the Walking Dead, where you're not answering stuff, because you did really well up to season 6, episode 11, but not every episode can explain things, and maybe we're this, maybe that. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But they say, no, I don't think the writing is trash. It's just much to be desired in certain aspects. And in this episode, it kind of made me feel like that wasn't explained. But Alicia is left behind. She's in the embalming room by herself, not with the walkers, but in the embalming room. I don't know how she ended up there, how she got captured, what happened. We don't see that. There's a commotion at the door. She grabs like a needle or something, hides it behind her back. We see Riley and another guy. I don't know, his name's like Harvey or something. I don't know. We didn't really get his name, but there's Riley, and he says, make it quick, embalm her, do what you got to do, and then Riley leaves. So it's the embalming guy versus Alicia. Alicia's kind of a badass here. So she goes in, boom, stabs the guy in the eye. They start fighting. He throws her across the table, kind of a callback to a prior episode of this season. So it's... Yeah, no, I agree. PAJ018, YouTube sucks. He says, sorry, but they do that all the time with the freaking plot holes. Yeah, and I agree. I hate plot holes too, but I'd say that season 6 has had less plot holes over time. But yeah, I agree that we've had a lot of plot holes in the Walking Dead universe, but definitely on Fear the Walking Dead. So Alicia's fighting this guy, and they're fighting and this and that, and the guy grabs a thing and he stabs and misses, and he kicks her. She kicks him in the face, and they're fighting. She reaches and grabs the, I guess, the needle or piercing thing that's going to drain your blood, and gets him right in the neck, and he's like, ugh. Kind of reminds you like Frankenstein or something. It's pretty gross. But then boom, the thing gets in his neck, and then it starts sucking his blood out, and he's like, ugh, and then he lays there and dies, right? So, I know the idea of Alicia taking this guy out. Pretty cool stuff. Survives. Alicia's a badass. She's laying there. Riley and the new guy, Teddy, come in. And Riley is told to leave by Teddy. Teddy closes the guy's eyes that Alicia killed, stabs him in the eye and kills him. You can see his blue socks right there, by the way. So he's rocking blue socks, and he's kind of looking like a religious figure. We'll just say that. He's kind of got that feel. He's a cult leader for sure. He talks to Alicia, and Alicia's like, oh, you're going to kill me now. You're the king of the crazies. And then he's like, no, if I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you already. I would have hurt you, blah, blah, blah. And then I love Alicia's like, I'm not buying what you're selling. I don't care what you say. Like, it's just great. Like, finally, someone is like, I don't care about your place. I just want to get the heck out of here. I'm not going to be involved with this. Get out of here, right? So then he talks and talks and talks. And then he says, like, I've been waiting for someone like you, Alicia. And he's like, how'd you know my name? Well, she was recorded by Riley at the beginning, so he was listening to the tape. So he found out about her and stuff like that too. So it's not the video recordings. It's nothing to do with that. It's just contained in this episode. And then it ends with Teddy reaching his hand out like, come with me. I can save you. I can protect you. And then it ends. So we don't know what's happening with Alicia and Teddy. But I know somebody said that the rumor is that Teddy was, 4 episodes, I think somebody said. So yeah, Dazzle Murray says, rumors Teddy's only in 4 episodes. So this was 1 episode, so we may get 3 more episodes. And I think so too. I think that the villains are the villain for 6A is going to be a different villain for 6B. Is going to be a different villain for 7A. Is going to be a different villain for 7B. How many times on Fear the Walking Dead has a villain only lasted half a season? A lot of the times. Like, that's what they do. You can you can put it down that they have it all the time that it's going to be a new person. Like it's going to be Logan and then Ginny and then Ginny and then Teddy and then Teddy and then Benny. I don't know who the next person is. That was just a joke. So Alicia is in trouble with Teddy. We'll have to see how it goes down. But I've seen some different things that Alicia, I'll probably put that in the video this week, that we're going to see Alicia is in a car or a truck with Teddy. I think Dakota is going to be in part with that. So I don't know how Dakota is going to be involved with this. Is she a traitor? Is she a mole? Is she, is she going to be like, Teddy's my dad? I don't know. It's going to be something weird. I just hope it makes sense too. So we'll have to see how it goes down. I know next week's episode is going to be, I think the synopsis talks about Grace imagining things or seeing the future or dreaming or something. Like it's going to be stuff that's not really happening. It's like visions or dreams or something there too. So I would assume the opening sequence will probably be Grace. This week it was Wes. Previously it's been John Dory and Ginny, and I think it was Daniel this past week. So this episode you'll see tonight is going to feature Wes. And overall, it's a decent episode. There are some plot holes, some things that we didn't answer, but overall, I think it's much better. This guy just found out. Yeah, well, they renewed Fear the Walking Dead for season 7. Yeah, we're getting to season 7. They're filming right now, season 7 too. So, but I think this is season 6 is a pretty good season. If we get a connection with Isabel and Althea and the Civic Republic, and I hope Al connects the dots with Rick, and I hope so many things happen with that. I hope stuff happens and we start getting more breadcrumbs. I hope we start to get more of sustenance. I don't want a little trickle of something. I want more stuff. I want some payoff. I want some satisfaction. We've had enough buildup. There's been a buildup and a buildup of a buildup from a buildup after a buildup following a buildup. Let's get some payoff here, right? Stop milking it so much. Let's get it on for the story to make sense. Connect the dots. What are they going to do with the end is the beginning people? Because next week's episode, we're going to see Riley going after Morgan. And he's like, you got something that I want, Mr. Morgan. And it's got to be the key, right? So they talk about that. And the other thing, too, I forgot to mention, speaking of Morgan, Wes mentions the name Morgan to Derek. And Derek knows about Morgan. He also spills the beans that they killed Ginny. Ginny is gone. And so Morgan was involved with doing that. So how do they know about Morgan? Do they know about the movies or the videotapes? Do they know about the Ginny, the transmissions, the radio calls? Has they just been involved with all that? Or is it somehow to do with Dakota or something? I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy for how it's going. And I just hope it's getting better and better, or it's still maintaining that level, because the first half of season 6 was really good. Second half, pretty good stuff. Even with the stuff with John. The stuff with Ginny was pretty cool. It was stretched out a little bit. The Daniel episode, I liked Daniel, so some people liked, some people didn't. This was a good step in the right direction. We got to meet the end is the beginning people. But I guess Alicia ruined that, because that's what Teddy says. He's like, we've been building this for years, and you ruined it. It's kind of like true, though, right? When our group shows up a place, they could be doing, so at the holding, they were doing stuff for years, building up the people, doing this, brainwashing people, doing whatever they have, their cult following. I don't know how many people are there, but they've been building it up, becoming self-sustaining, which is pretty cool. And then Alicia, Luciana, Wes, and Althea show up. And not even a day later, Alicia burns stuff up. Derek's dead. The embalming guy's dead. Like, it's just like so much stuff happened in this place. So I don't know how big this fire was. The fireball, how they got out, where they were, how much of stuff was ruined. But Teddy says they ruined it. It's like, you ruined it all, right? So it's a matter of like hours, I guess, that happened, that they, ruined everything they were doing. That, I don't know, they were a little too trusting with Althea and everything, or Althea, Alicia, Luciana, and Wes. Like, they came in, they interviewed them a little bit, and they were like, oh, yeah, it sounds good. What do you see there? Oh, okay, yeah, you want some food? You want to hang out here? You want a bunk bed? You want a place to stay? What do you want to do? You want to hang out? You have any skills? Like, what can you, like, it's just like, new people, I don't know. It's a zombie apocalypse. Can you trust people? Should you trust people? I don't know about that, right? Luckily, with the Commonwealth, we're going to see them interrogate people, ask them questions, put the security of their place first. The people they already have, that's why they've already, had this stuff. Kind of, I guess the princess episode really wasn't the full interrogation of stuff, but we're going to see that hopefully with, in season 11. Hopefully right away in season 11, the Commonwealth is going to interrogate you and have that too. So we'll see how it goes down, but they build up. We finally got to meet the end is the beginning people, or AKA the Holding. So overall, it's a decent episode. Focuses a lot on Wes. We meet Wes's brother, so at least that was answered. We got to meet Teddy in that cult group. We met a new character, Riley. And so overall, it's a decent episode. It's a pretty good episode. Some stuff happens in it. There are some plot holes, I'm not going to lie. You know how they do it on Fear the Walking Dead. But overall, it's an entertaining episode, and I don't really think this Fear the Walking Dead is going to be this greatest show ever with the best writing ever. So if you got lower expectations, you won't be disappointed in there too. So overall, it's pretty good. Alicia's still a badass, and she's doing some cool stuff. They developed Wes a little bit more there too, and they set some things up for next episode. Still want to find out about the submarine, the keys, stuff there. We talked about it too as well. So Zero Player 097 says, what do you think that key unlocks? I hope it unlocks something pretty cool inside the submarine. Like, it's not the key that opens the submarine door. It's actually a launch key or something that the end is the beginning. People have the other one because most likely you would have to have two keys to launch something. But I assume that's what they want to do. They want to blow up everything on the surface, live underground, and take stuff out there. So can't wait to find out. Jonathan Wilder keeps asking this. Q&A, when do you think the first Rick movie is going to come out? I think next year. I think, well, they haven't started filming it yet. A movie takes probably 3 months to film. So say they start filming June, July, August. Post-production is a couple things. I would assume next year. Maybe between earliest would be December release. I would think January. But that's just my guess right now. I think that comes out there too. So Wilson asks, is it fair to say, PT, that Teddy's group want the key from Morgan? That's for sure. They when it was mentioned about Morgan, they definitely got interested with it. And I think that next week we're going to see Riley go after Morgan, and he says something like, you have something that we want, and it's got to be the key. So I'll have to see how that goes down next week, not this week. That's next week, season 6, episode 12. That'll be there. Hopefully I'll get to watch it again on Thursday, have my breakdown of it for my early review. I'm not going to post another review tonight. If you want to see my review that I already posted, check out the episode, and then we can talk about it there. I got my Terminus End is the Beginning People similarity video that I'll post on Monday. I'll be working on my Easter egg video for Tuesday or Wednesday. And then we got some other stuff in the hopper going forward. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the great questions. Thank you for the 36 likes and 59 viewers now. Thank you guys. Be safe out there. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Side note, tonight on every Sunday for the past couple weeks, it's a different thing, and there's nothing to do with The Walking Dead, but it has to do with wrestlers. I like wrestling, old school wrestling. They have on A&E, it's a biography show about different wrestlers. The first episode was Stone Cold. Second one was Rowdy Piper. Tonight is Macho Man, and I'm excited to watch that. So that's on A&E tonight. Maybe record it, check it on later this week. But it's biography about wrestlers. Thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about Fear the Walking Dead and everything going around. If I find out more information about filming and stuff like that, if you're going to be in Sonoy, you never know. You could see different filming stuff. We're in the month of May. It's going to be May. Well, it is May. So thank you guys. Be safe. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode, and I'll see you later, guys. See ya.